All right, welcome back, everybody. Now, as we get started, I wanna note something here that's very important for you to know as a sales rep, and uh, that is if you do not have Google Chrome on your computer, um, please download that onto your computer because this is what you're going to need to be running in order to not have any bugs or glitches in Alchemy. So do not use Safari or Mozilla Firefox or any other browser. Google Chrome is where you're not going to have any bugs or errors or have the least amount. So please do download that on your computer or tablet, iPad, phone, whatever you're using in order to get leads across, because you will need that. Awesome. All right. So moving forward, we're going to go ahead and show you how to now enter a lead. So as we talked about earlier, here is your add homeowner icon. So we'll go ahead and click on that. All right, and as you can see, you've got a couple of tabs up here at the top. You have the contact information, the site details, and the utility information, and then of course the timeline. Now we're going to go through these one by one, so we'll start with the contact details information. So what I'm going to do is start entering a lead from the very beginning, starting with the first name. So we'll do Jackie. Get the email in there. And something to note here is you actually don't need to insert the hypotheses or parentheses or the dash at all. Just enter straight numbers and it will actually fill this in for you. Lead status, you can put this as whatever you'd like. So if you've already pre-qualified them, you can go qualified. The rep, which should be you. The date that you're going to be having the appointment time, typically probably a couple of days out. So we'll do for the 14th, and we'll do for 12 p.m. Or I'm sorry, we'll do 2 p.m. Now something else to note here is do not click outside of this box. If you do, it will not save this information that you've already gone through. So something that we ask you to do is always click the save button down here. Before we do that, however, let's look at the notes. So this is a great spot where you can enter notes for the homeowner. So whether I know a lot of canvassers out in the field like to put notes about their homeowners, this is a place that you can do that. You can also put information such as only panels on the back of home, and that way our designers know, okay, this homeowner only wants the panels on the back of the home. Some HOAs can be a little bit strict, so it's important to put as many notes as possible rather than not enough. So we'll go save the work that we've done here, and then we'll go next. All right, now here is the site layout. Now basically this is just showing you where the home is going to be, where we're going to be putting panels on. So we'll type in the address that you have. And this is the address here that I'm looking for. And as you can see, it actually zeroes in on the correct home, and you can actually use your mouse and scroll in. Now let's say the real home was over here on this house. You can actually drag and drop the mouse, and it will update the information accordingly. So I'm going to put it back on the correct home. Another great tool you can use is you can actually, you can change from map to satellite. You can also go into get a greater view here, so you can see everything, scroll it around, get just a higher level view of the entire neighborhood. So go back out. You can also go to Street View, which is a great tool to utilize. So what you can do is just hold, drag, and drop. And you can actually say, is that the house that I knocked on the door of? Okay, yes, it is. Awesome. So we'll go back. And you can also, of course, scroll in a little bit. You can zoom in and minimize as needed. So as you can also see, it has auto-populated the information down here along with the coordinates. So no need to go hunting for those. And then something else that is very, very important that we highly encourage you enter in here if you have the details is, even if you don't know the details, click yes or no for the homeowners association if you know they do or do not have one. If you don't, it may be best while you're in the home to ask the homeowner about this because the more details we have, the quicker we're able to start that process of the HOA application, which can sometimes be a bit lengthy. So the sooner we have this information, the sooner we can get started, the quicker your project will move through the pipeline. And plus, this is one of the points of information we need in order to move your contract to contract received confirmed, which is how we recognize the contract. So moving forward. Now I didn't save it that time, so if I click off and I'll lose it and I'll only have the contact information filled out. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick save. That's all right. All right, next you have the utility information. So what we're going to do here for this homeowner, I believe it is going to be Duke. So we'll type in the utility. Something to note here is just because you see all of these utilities does not mean Palmetto works with all of these utilities. We do have a certain group of utilities that we do work with, and we will provide that to you upon you joining the team. But just keep that in mind. Just because it's here doesn't mean we necessarily work with that utility. Some utility companies have different rate structures where it's just not financially feasible for the homeowner. So moving on, you go to utility rate. Now, I would say about 95% of the time, this is going to be residential. So we'll click residential. And here's another very important thing to note. So this is the name on the utility bill. So what you want to do is always make sure, if you have the homeowner's utility bill, you want to make sure that the name on there is exactly what you type into here. And why is that important? Because when we go to do interconnection with the utility, we have to have this exact name. That's very important. And you can actually upload the utility bill here, which we also highly encourage. If you have it, just upload it and put it through. All right, now moving down, you can see we have the usage section here. So this is really great what we have going on down here. So if you're ever entering the usage for a homeowner, we always recommend doing the 12 months usage. If you have it, use that because that's going to always be the most accurate reading of the system size that we're going to need to put on the homeowner's home to offset the last 12 months of that homeowner's usage. So please use that if you have it, because that's what's going to be most accurate. But let's say you didn't have the bill, you don't have the last 12 months, and all you really have is, the homeowner said, well, in January, my amount was $200. We have something called GenAbility, and basically what GenAbility does is take all of the estimations in that area, and it actually estimates out what the consumption will be for the next 12 months throughout the year based on that $200 amount. And it is fairly accurate. So if you need to use that, you always have it as a backup. But again, the 12-month usage is always going to be the most accurate information. So we will go next here. Just taking a little bit of time to load here. And something I did not talk about while looking at this portion was the timeline. So basically that timeline portion, you can actually go in and see all of the work that's been done on this project thus far. So you'll literally see any time that you made a change or added something to that lead, you'll actually see that in the timeline. So that's it for this segment. We'll move forward to the next.